Hi everyone, it's Miss Dolores again. We are back for chapters 5 and 6 of Bad Guys. So I hope you've enjoyed chapters 1 through 4. So we're going to pick up again. If you remember where we left off, the bad guys are going to plan on saving a cat. So here we go. The chapter 5 is called Here Kitty. I don't know. This doesn't look good, guys. What do you think? So the cat, you see him up there? He's stuck in the tree and he needs somebody to help get him down. Do you think the bad guys are the perfect people to do that? I'm not sure. All right, so let's see. Chapter 5. The cat says, meow. And the wolf says, bingo. All right, remember, they're still trying to convince you that they're good guys. So let's see if they turn out to be good guys. Chapter 5. Here, kitty. So, what are we going to do? Said the wolf. And the shark says, rescue the cat. And the wolf says, and what are we not going to do? And the shark says, we're not going to eat the cat. And the wolf says, that's right. I don't know about you, but I'm feeling pumped. Okay, let's get this thing done. And the cat says, meow. And they all stand under the tree and look up at the cat and say, here, kitty, kitty, kitty. Now, if you were a cat and you looked down and saw those faces, do you think you'd come down? Take a look. I don't know, they look pretty scary to me. And the cat looks at them and goes, ah! And the wolf says, hey, take it easy, kid. This is a rescue. Man, he's freaking out. What's his problem? And Mr. Shark says, let me try. Here, kitty, kitty. And he opens his big jaws. Wow, would you go down to a thing like that? And the cat says, ah! And he screams. And the wolf says, what was that? Are you trying to give him a heart attack? And Mr. Shark said, what? I was being totally cool. And Mr. Piranha says, let me handle this. Hey, you, get down here, or I'm going to shimmy up that tree and bite you on your furry little butt. What? His furry little butt? And the cat says, ah! And Mr. Wolf says, what is the matter with you? And Mr. Snake says, well, someone had better do something. That screaming is getting on my nerves. So, Mr. Shark is on the bottom. Mr. Wolf stands on Mr. Shark. Then Mr. Wolf holds Mr. Snake, who holds Mr. Piranha, and they are going to try to get the cat down that way. Do you think this is a good idea? I'm not thinking this is a good idea. And Mr. Snake says, this is not what I had in mind. And Mr. Piranha says, I can't reach. Get me closer, you stupid snake. He says, what did you call me? He said, you heard me. Get me closer. I said closer, you big worm. And Mr. Snake said, okay, that's it. What do you think Mr. Snake does because he's mad at Mr. Piranha? What do you think? You may have guessed it. Munch, 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 munch. Look at Mr. Snake's belly. It just got really big. And do you see Mr. Piranha anywhere? And Mr. Wolf says, hey, where's the piranha? Look, do you see where he is? I see him right in there. And Mr. Snake says, I don't know what you're talking about. I think he ate him, guys. Let's see how we get him back. And Mr. Wolf says, now, please do not be alarmed. It's true. Snakes can be tricky, and they do tend to swallow whatever they like. But luckily, they swallow things whole. And I happen to know a gentle and harmless technique that'll fix things right up. Excuse me for one moment. All right. See the piranha? Don't be alarmed. Mr. Wolf here has a plan to get Mr. Piranha back. So he takes the snake and he starts twirling him around his head. And he says, I said, where's the piranha? And Mr. Piranha says, ay, caramba. And out he comes. So he got him out of the snake's belly. Well, that's good news, right, guys? But the piranha flew right into the cat. Remember the cat stuck in the tree? The piranha flew right onto his belly with a splat. And the piranha says, hey, Chico, what's cooking? And the cat freaks out and says, ah! And he's screaming and screaming. Yow! And he jumps out of the tree, but look who's waiting to catch him. Mr. Wolf. And he says, that's it. I've got you. I've got you. He's going to catch him. And he says, I've got you. And he holds him in his hand. And the cat gets so upset. And he shows his claws. And he's hissing. Sss, and he starts scratching Mr. Wolf all up. And he's scratching and scratching. Oh, look what he looks like now. There's Mr. Wolf. Doesn't look too good. And Mr. Shark says, well, hey, the cat's out of the tree. And Mr. Piranha says, I should have stayed in Bolivia. He doesn't look too good, does he? But they did get the cat out of the tree. But I don't know. It wasn't that good a plan, I don't think. But they did get him out. Chapter 6 is called The Plan. Guys, they have another plan. How many plans do you think they're going to have? This is getting crazy. Mr. Wolf says, nice work. High fives all around. And they look at Mr. Wolf and said, you're the only one that has hands. True. Fair enough. How about a group hug? I don't hug, Mr. Snake said. So back off, Mr. Snuggles. And Mr. Wolf says, okie dokie. Well, I don't know about you, but I'd say we're ready. And Mr. Shark says, ready for what? He says, what do you mean? Our first mission. It's time for Operation Pound Dog. What? There's the dog pound. There's 200 dogs, 20 guards, one way in, one way out, iron bars, razor wire, and bad food. They want to rescue 200 dogs. They couldn't hardly rescue one cat. How do you think this is going to happen? There are 200 puppies locked up in the maximum security city dog pound. Their hopes and dreams are trapped behind walls of stones and bars of steel. But guess what? What do you think? You guessed it. We're gonna set them free! We couldn't get a kitten out of a tree. How are we supposed to rescue 200 dogs? It's easy, said Mr. Wolf. One of us just has to get in there and open their cages. And Mr. Snake said, and how are we gonna do that? That's true. How are they gonna do that? Any guesses? He said, with this, and he holds up a dress. Are you going to dress up like an old lady again, said Mr. Snake. It doesn't work, man. You always get caught. And Mr. Wolf said, who said anything about me dressing up? And they went, what do you think? Do you think they should dress up? All right, so that's it for chapter 6. I'm going to come back tomorrow for chapters 7 and 8. That will be the end of the story, and we can see how it ends. Okay, so we're going to see if they rescue 200 dogs. What do you think? Do you think they're going to rescue them? I don't know. It sounds pretty tricky. So stay tuned tomorrow, and you'll hear the end of the story, The Bad Guys by Aaron Blabey. And again, it is read with permission from Scholastic, and we thank them for allowing us to read that book today. So you guys have a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow.